You think the electricity might still work?
Not really.
Oh. And yes, it does, my friend. Yes. Oh, here the glass piece in the middle lights up. They have different modes. Oh, that's beautiful.
During our countless adventures across Europe, Danny and I received a tantalizing tip about an abandoned palace in Portugal. This grand estate once belonged to a family renowned for their furniture craftsmanship. It was the family behind the very pieces we often encounter in these derelict locations we explore throughout Portugal. The Pinto family's palace, once a symbol of their success, stood at the center of their world. Built centuries ago in a remote part of Portugal, it showcased their strength and influence. The family's fortune rose with their furniture business, which was known for its quality and elegance. Jose Pinto, a sharp businessman, expanded their operations internationally and kept the company thriving even in difficult times. Many of the furnishings in the palace are relics from their once famous business, providing a direct connection to their legacy. Despite their success, José's focus on work strained his relationship with his wife, Mary, and their children. The palace, though grand, became a place of solitude for the family, each room echoing the separation rather than the shared joys. By the early 1990s, the company faced fierce competition and financial troubles. The business failed and the Pinto family was forced to leave their home, moving to a smaller house. The family had lived in and owned this palace for centuries. When banks or institutions seize properties, the unfortunate truth is that the once vibrant places often become abandoned and forgotten. The personal touch that once gave the building character fades away, leaving behind a shell overshadowed by corporate indifference and greed. Join us as we uncover the secrets and stories of this lost palace. An adventure into the depths promises to reveal a fascinating chapter of history.
Welcome back everybody to the Bros of Decay. I am Leslie, like usual behind the camera, Mr. Danny.
Hello everyone.
And we are filming another incredible place in the country of Portugal today. We got the family house of the family Pinto today to show you. And let me say, a house is an understatement. This is a literal palace. The only thing I don't know is when this place was constructed. Danny, do you have any idea about it or about the looks and feel of this place? I think beginning 1800s at least.
No, beginning 1900s.
Beginning 1900s?
Yeah, this looks pretty fake. This doesn't look real. So I would say beginning 1900s.
Oh yes, this is painted
This is
on
painted.
marble.
Yeah, this is not real. You can see the paint here.
Yeah, they painted like these veins inside of here, and they wanted to try to make it look like.
This is in the Victorian era. This was very done in multiple.
Very common.
Yeah, very common. So, yeah, I would say beginning of the 1900s.
Okay, but nonetheless, this entrance hall that we just entered into is absolutely incredible. Here, the family invited their guests, and they immediately had an impression of what the family was all about. They were wealthy, they were rich, they wanted to show off, and this was their way of doing so. I love the ceiling. It's very Portuguese, I would say.
Yeah.
It has these sort of I call them stalactites coming out of the ceiling.
Yeah,
The ones you would see in caves, but
true.
then made into a ceiling.
These types of ceilings were like different type of ceilings that are very common in Portugal. Yeah.
This one is very extravagant, but there's one place in Portugal where I would say that the ceilings are like the little best. You know the place, Casa do Tarca?
Ah, yeah.
And I will link it up here. They had literally pineapples coming out of the ceiling.
Yeah.
So definitely check that out after this video. Okay, so this is the entrance hall where they invited their guests. They had a very important business, so that was probably a very common thing that this family would do. Behind here, I'm not sure what kind of room this might have been. Maybe a grand dining hall, maybe an event space, maybe something like that. It's in any case a very big room, used to be a very important room for the family.
I would literally say that this was the office in the entrance.
That's a very good reasoning because clients come in, clients come over here and they sit down and talk to the owner and...
You see this desk in the middle?
Yeah.
That's an office desk.
These people, as you heard from the story, had a furniture business. They were in the big business of furniture in those times in Portugal. And seeing from the looks of this furniture, they definitely did great business over here in this country.
And the chairs behind you.
Yeah.
Look at that.
This is the office chair.
Yeah.
Can you imagine sitting in that and conducting business from it all day? These types of furniture pieces would have been made in Portugal, right?
Yeah, back in the day, yeah.
Yeah.
Those leather pieces, yeah.
That's incredible. I would not know how to even start on constructing something like that.
Yeah. Some of the pieces are just piece by piece parts. Some of them are complete pieces, you know?
Yeah.
But normally chairs are parts.
Look at this one, for example. Wow. This is absolutely incredible. And this is one of a collection probably that they sold. And they are here in the office so that the clients could look at them. Absolutely beautiful. But unfortunately, as been said in the story, Mr. Jose and Maria, the mother and the father of this family, they had this business for years and years and years, inherited it from their grandparents, but unfortunately it declined over time and they failed. They had to declare bankruptcy, and that's actually the reason why they lost this prominent place and why they had to move to a much smaller residence, and why this place is actually also abandoned. Very sad story, but it happens sometimes in business. Yes, Danny, I see you pointing out that chandelier.
Yeah.
That's absolutely beautiful, probably completely hand-carved.
Oh,
One thing I still want to point out on this desk over here is this pen holder. Look at this wonderful pen that we have in here with the inked jars to either side. I think this is a stamp. And then the dates are also over here. So, as you can see over there, even more pieces of furniture and things that they didn't move out of the house after they left it. They probably didn't have enough space in their new house to accommodate all of these pieces. The ceiling is absolutely incredible in this room as well. And have you seen here to the side? There's an enormous vault left behind. Oh, wow. That's a locking mechanism.
Yeah, look at the locks.
Oh,
wow.
Geez. You think it still closes?
Maybe.
Oh, it's so smooth. It's like literally like butter. Look at this.
Wow.
And then they had these A to Z locking combinations at the front. And where has this one been made? Vila Nova, the guy.
Yeah.
That's also in Portugal, right?
Yeah, Porto.
That's in Porto. Oh yes, that's the town beneath Porto. Yeah. Exactly. We have been there.
On the other side of the river, yeah.
Yeah, all their documents are also still left on top of here. Yes, I think you're right, Annie. Probably these lower floors in the house were used to conduct all their business, sort of a headquarters of their business outside of the factories that are probably somewhere around here. I don't know. Maybe they're also abandoned.
Probably, but yeah, this was definitely the living quarters.
This one seems to be completely locked, unfortunately. Look at the rug that's in front of it. Oh, but this might have been the meeting room, because that's very logical. Over there, the bureau to conduct business. Over here, maybe a meeting room or a showcase room to show them the furniture.
Yeah. You're right.
Okay. And then over there, these doors, they lead into their private section of the house, the place where they lived. These are like proper office doors, to my opinion. Oh, I'm not gonna move them too much.
Just leave it.
They're stuck to the ground, but absolutely beautiful. Tinted glass windows to give that sense of privacy, like this is the place where we live, this is the place where we do business.
Yeah.
Staircase leading us up later, but I want to first head over and see what's in here. This one has a key though. Bro, before I open this up, look at these keyholes. They even have a little cover to cover them up to make them extra elegant.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes, this one opens up. Ooh. Oh. Here we come into some sort of a storage area of the house.
Yeah, some sort of basement.
Yeah, between brackets, basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a lot of books and stuff have been stored in here. Discovery. This looks like a grade from a school. A5. Wow. Yeah, a lot of paperwork. You see some
Yeah, I see a lot.
math and equations left behind.
Yeah, I see a lot of things about school.
Universidade, university.
Universidad, yeah.
Probably from the children that lived here, and probably all their school books that have been left behind.
Yeah.
What do we have to that side over there? Yeah, even more storage
Yeah,
of all kinds of things. A go-kart from one of the children on the floor. They had 3 children, as we know so far. Margarida, Paolo, and Anna, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Of course, a Portuguese house is not complete without their own wine storage.
Yeah.
Portuguese people, to my opinion, drink a lot of alcohol, but it's just a very normal thing. It's like a drink with a dinner.
Yeah.
And it's not because they're alcoholics or something.
No.
This one
No,
still
no,
has
no,
a
no.
cork on it. Oh. Look at that. It's unfortunately empty, but still.
Yeah, they look empty.
Looking for a full one over here.
Good
Probably
luck.
not gonna find it in here. Wow. Hundreds of bottles left behind, but all empty. Why would they keep all these empty bottles then? Do you have any clue?
To refill them again.
So they would go and refill them with local wine, maybe?
With local wine or with their wine.
Their wine?
For example, when you buy a bottle in the supermarket,
Yeah.
you just save the bottle so you can put your wine if you have wine. Like some houses back in the day, they had their own small production of wine.
So maybe this house, maybe these people had also a sort of a small production going on for themselves.
Yeah, for themselves. Yeah, probably.
Or maybe friends or family did that for them.
Yeah, probably. That was a common thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. It's time, my friend, to go up and see where they lived. I've been waiting for this moment to go up the staircase, and I'm gonna feel pretty special walking up their red carpet to their private part of their house. Bro, tell me that this is a fantastic, fantastic staircase.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore it.
I mean, it's simple, but the details are here.
Yeah, it's simple but elegant,
Yeah.
but beautiful, I would say. And then you come up to this first floor with its archway and the high ceilings leading you into what I see in front of us is immediately just a bedroom of the household. Wow, and I can already see from the corner of my eye some incredible things. So let me go inside of there and let me show you this beauty. Wow. The
Yeah.
first thing I do is look up.
Yeah.
Look at the ceiling. This is already the second house in Portugal, or the second palace in Portugal that we film with such amazing ceilings. And
Yeah.
I'm just surprised by them because normally you don't see that in Portugal. This is a very Italian thing.
Yeah, nowadays it's not common to see those types of things, but back in the day, all the richest houses had something like this. And as you can see, it's not like a painted ceiling. It has like the plaster, the paint.
Yeah.
It's a mix of a lot of different cultures.
The crown molding everywhere. The channel here hanging prominently from the middle. Really adore this one though. It's a very, very beautiful one. Chandeliers are not really that big of a thing in Portugal, unlike France or something like that, where they're super extravagant. But sometimes they are just on point, like in this room. Absolutely adore it. And even the walls have been covered by this sort of crown molding, this plaster work that we see over here. It's absolutely incredible. I think the room that we just entered into might have been the master bedroom of the place.
Oh yeah, most likely.
It's in the middle of the house. It's a very prominent room and still made, as you can see. Most likely, the piece of furniture that we see in this room has been manufactured by their company, by Jose Maria, their company.
Yeah, this feels very Portuguese, very.
Yeah. What's this here at the top?
Just a pillow, I think.
Okay, it just got interesting.
Yeah,
That's
it gets
a very
weird
weird
shape.
There's something. No, there's nothing in these nightstands anymore. I think what happened in this place is that of course, they got seized by the bank. They lost their company, and then they literally cleared out the house in some way, but left the biggest pieces of furniture because it's impossible to take those.
Yep.
What a masterpiece. Look at that. Still a blanket in there, still a thing for the smell or the moths.
The moths. I love this. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's kind of round shape cabinet.
What would you store in here?
Clothes, I think.
Yeah, most likely. It's actually a dumb question. Ooh.
Smells?
The smell. Yeah, this has been abandoned since the 1990s, but you still smell the people. That scent stays in the house like for a very, very long time. It's a very interesting thing. Every single time you come into a house, it has a different scent. But in your own house, you don't smell it anymore. It's something that you get used to.
Yeah.
This is one of those special vanities, I would say, right?
I would say so, but kind of modernized because it's high up.
Yeah, normally there would be, this piece would be over here
on
somewhere
the floor, yeah.
for the shoes. But in this one, it's a little bit higher up. And here Maria would come in the morning, look at herself, look at the piece of furniture that her company had made and make herself beautiful. You can see all these pieces of furniture have been made in different sections and then glued together in some way.
You want to see a cool thing about this vanity?
Absolutely. Oh, yes. That you could literally stand here
and see the
look
whole...
at every single side of your face. Wow. I love how this piece of furniture works.
Yeah.
And over here we have her multiple hats that she would wear. Because of course she was the lady of a big boss and she had to look very fine. So she definitely had a big collection of hats, big collection of clothing and dresses. Sad part over here. Look. The building is cracking up. It's falling apart. It hasn't been taken care of. The bank probably seized it, couldn't sell it anymore, and then left it for its demise. Sad, absolutely sad.
Also to point out, the rug underneath, very Portuguese, these types of rugs, very.
I've seen these a lot in Portugal before.
Yeah. Even in my house or my grandmother's, it's everywhere.
Exactly.
It's everywhere.
Wow. Back to the hallway. Have you seen that there is like a mirror in the middle of the hallway here?
Yeah, I've seen.
Hey everybody. Let's go to that side of the house first.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I saw a couple of cool rooms here. Oh yeah, this one I really wanted to point out. And this is, I think used to be the living space of the house, like the big living room, I would say, where they would come together. And it has a very interesting chandelier in the middle. Have a look at it. It's a brass or copper chandelier.
Can I just say one thing?
It's missing a
because of
piece.
the chandelier. Yeah, it's missing a piece. These chandeliers normally.
Oh, Danny. Yep, has this whole foot full of water.
It's water.
I hope it's water, it's pretty brown.
No, it's water.
I think it has been leaking from the ceiling.
Yeah, I think it's water. Damn it! I was making a cool shot.
I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, it's water. No, but I was just saying, these types of chandeliers were put above dinner tables.
Oh, so this might have been a dining room.
I'm not sure, but these type of chandeliers, and you can see in your videos, always the most extravagant chandelier is put above a dinner table.
Okay. It's a wonderful piece. Something like I've never seen before, actually. Yeah. And then with this beautiful ceiling above there. Wow.
Yeah, and the ceiling also resembles a lot a dining space.
Yeah. But unfortunately, here one of the worst cases of decay is happening in the house. I think there might be a ceiling leak or something coming down.
Yeah,
But
probably.
this takes a lot of money
Also-
to restore. Oh, you have to be careful.
Yeah, this
Do
is
not
caving
traverse
in.
over there. It's literally falling apart. This is also a very Portuguese piece, to my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've however seen it in Belgium as well, but in a different shape, a little bit different. Not with a sofa underneath it, but it resembles it. But very beautiful. So probably also made by their furniture manufacturing company. And here in the middle of the room we have another piece, and I just saw down here that there are a couple of notes left behind, and it looks like a little bit of scribbling from one of the children. It's absolutely adorable, to my opinion. This must have been something from school.
Oh, a scrapbook.
Oh, with newspaper cutouts, I think?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, look at that. And these are all very vintage newspaper cutouts.
Yeah.
Wow. Incredible. And even a couple of small drawings left behind. Mr. Worldwide. I think Paulo made this. He represented a boy in this one. And oh, look at that.
Do you think that represents a boy or
Yeah.
a mouse?
A mouse. I'm sorry. A boy mouse. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's from Paulo, but I'm not
Most
100%
likely.
sure. And there's also a trophy on top of here. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Festa da Cidade.
Cidade.
It's from
City-
1936.
City festival. It's a rally.
Wow. So they probably won something there. Okay. That room over there, Danny. That's the one.
That's the one?
That's the one you want to show. Just have a look at this masterpiece. The ceiling up there is absolutely incredible. And this is definitely one of the most beautiful chandeliers in this entire house.
That is true.
I love it. The gold plating, this sort of, I don't know how to call this, but this textile around it.
The red thing?
Yeah,
It's the red velvet, I think.
red velvet, exactly. And then this masterpiece, this sort of jewel in the middle, I would say.
Yeah, it's glass.
I
glass
absolutely
globe.
adore this piece.
Yeah, it's
So
beautiful.
I'm looking at this room and I immediately feel the presence of the people. They still being here together, sitting in those wonderful chairs around this coffee table, maybe in the evening after having a great meal. Jose, Maria, Anna, Paulo, and Margarita, if I'm not mistaken.
Margarita. Yeah.
Those were the members of this family. And these chairs, Danny, they're so absolutely wonderful. This one I adore the most. It's a very Portuguese piece. Do you have anything to say about it? Because we've seen it so many times now, but this is a little bit different.
Yeah, this is definitely a Portuguese piece, although these chairs kind of represent the Louis XV chairs.
Yeah, the French ones.
Yeah, the French ones. Not mostly because of the feet. As you can see, the feet have a curved leg.
Yeah.
So that means it's a cabriole leg, and it ends with a scroll. Let's say that peg ends with the scroll. And of course, another thing that is really Portuguese on this chair is the red velvet upholstery. And they made it on purpose to match with the walls.
The wall, indeed. I was about to say it, but you already said it before me. Because they manufacture this themselves, they were in the ability to literally match the entire house with each other.
Yeah, they painted this whole wall like the chairs. It's crazy.
Or maybe they got the chairs after they painted the wall. I don't know. I'm just saying something, but
No, but yeah, you can definitely see that they are Portuguese. And these are high value pieces. Just one of those chairs, just to give you a reference, one of these chairs could be from the mid-end of the 1700s.
That's
They
incredible.
are really old. And because they are just unique pieces, I've seen this on an auction for like 26K or something. Just one chair.
And
This is how valuable it is.
and imagine this, they are just standing here inside of this abandoned house, rotting away underneath the rubble. That's insane.
It's real sad, especially you can see that they are really Portuguese, like the flowers, the simple flower.
Yeah. But there's just the individual chairs worked into a bench is already a very Portuguese thing.
True, that's true.
This unlike any country. Like normally the sofa would have a full backrest.
Full on, yeah.
Also have a coffee table here in the middle of the room. This wonderful statue of a lady on top of here. I would have expected it to be heavier, but it's actually quite light. Beautiful coffee table. Again, those flower designs coming back.
Yeah.
They definitely loved a good decorated home. And yeah, from their palace. Yeah. Even more of those chairs over to this side. Wow. And then of course, the most prominent piece in this entire room, the wing piano, where one of the family members would probably play away in the evening. Look at this one, Danny. It even has the same upholstery on it as the chairs.
Yeah.
They probably did that themselves.
Oh yeah, probably on purpose because they want everything to match.
Yeah.
If they matched the wall to the chairs, why not
Why not?
match that one too?
Oh, it's still in a very good conditioner. Blutner is a German brand. No, most of the keys don't play anymore. Oh, you can even see the complete mechanism inside of here. Wow. All the strings, everything still
Looks
very
pretty
neat.
good.
Yeah, I think if you give it a good tune, then it's probably still in good shape.
Oh yeah.
What a wonderful piece. Slowly close this up. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
Just making sure that this doesn't make noise.
Slowly. You even have a lock to lock up the piano over here.
Oh wow.
You see those light switches over here? I really adore them. I think this was the first type of light switch they had, and they added these on later. Unlike in the basement where the light switches had the cables on top, here they have been worked into the wall. You think the electricity might still work?
Not really.
Oh. And yes, it does, my friend. Yes. Oh, here the glass piece in the middle lights up. They have different modes. Oh, that's beautiful. Lighting up this room again and giving it its charm that it once had.
Wow.
I love that.
I was not expecting that. I'm even shaking a little bit.
Yeah, it's not very common to see electricity still working in Portugal.
No, it's
Sometimes
not.
we find it, but the country where we find the houses with the most electricity working is definitely the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also a huge country.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But most houses that we went to in the United States, Danny, had always electricity still working.
Yeah, which
in
is
them.
really weird.
Because the people from the United States were the ones saying, "Whoa, this is insane that the power still works in Europe." But then we visited the USA, and
yeah.
all the power still works.
Yeah. Ooh.
I think this is the less formal dining area.
Definitely.
So we saw the formal dining area before, and here's the less formal dining area. They were with five people. So this could have been the table where they had dinner at. But
I count 6 chairs, but okay.
yeah, this is one that slides out as well.
Yeah.
As you can see, very beautiful room nonetheless.
Yeah, and I haven't shown the ceiling.
Yeah, that's in
Which
this in these type of houses you also always gotta point the camera up. Always gotta show that ceiling.
Always saving the best for last.
Yeah, that's true.
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Telefunken. My uncle gave me one of these radios when he moved to Spain from Belgium, and I still have it. I really love it.
It's a German one?
A Telefunken, yeah, it's made in Germany.
Wow.
So they also have it here in Portugal, probably all over Europe.
Yeah.
Wonderful wall clock over there. I think the time still ticks. No, it has stopped. It's 6:15 on a certain day, years ago. The fireplace with all the ashes still inside of it. Jeez. Must you imagine when
Wow.
it was all still lit up, the fire was glooming.
Look at that.
There's beautiful carving in there.
Yeah.
I want to make a fire like that. I've never done it before. With a bellow.
Okay. You can just blow on it. It's the same effect.
It's the same effect, but this is like authentic.
Yeah.
A painting maybe made by somebody in the household. And I adore this one as well.
Yeah, this one is beautiful.
It's made by M.
Lucilia.
Lucilia, je ne sais pas. Don't know what that is. Wow. Beautiful countryside. And the candles.
I just saw one thing. Can I point it out?
This one?
Yeah. My grandmother has exactly the same. Like, exactly. My grandmother used to work for a rich lady, I'd say that. And she gave that to my grandmother, and it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Exactly. Wow. That is crazy.
I love that the candles are still here, half burned.
Yeah.
From the time that they lived here. Fortunately, the wall over here also crumbling away, pieces falling off. Here they used to watch television on. See if their plates are still in place. Yep, they are. Yep, these are the less fancy plates that they used to have dinner in this room. Why would you put like this wrapping paper over everything?
It's just
To protect the cabinet?
protect the cabinet, yeah.
Okay.
And also to protect the plates.
Yeah, I can see that. Beautiful art pieces everywhere. Of course, religion, not to think away from a house like this.
Of course.
And I also saw this, and this caught my interest. This is, I think, an advertisement for a musical, if I'm not mistaken. The Sound of Music.
Yeah, those are the advertisements for the Oscars.
Oh, really? And this is all from a very old newspaper, as you can see. Wow. Very nice. One last overview of this room before we go further.
Yeah.
Just show it. Wow. Not to think away from a house like this, also the kitchen is very important. The place where the meals for the families would be prepared. And I think looking at the state of this house and the way these people lived, they definitely had servants cooking their food for them.
Yeah.
They most likely didn't do that themselves.
No.
It's a very Portuguese kitchen that we just entered into. I would say pretty plain, No.
Back in the days, it was normally to have a plain kitchen like this. It's just for cooking. It's not for show.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly. Love the plates that we have here on the chimney. Wow, they're beautiful. Depicting Portuguese landscapes, depicting Portuguese religion. Wow. These we have seen coming back in a lot of places. They're very typical. As a wine jug, if I'm not mistaken, right?
no, it's not a wine jug. To be honest, I don't know what's the purpose of that.
Okay.
Without being decoration, because we just use it for decoration. I actually don't know.
They did switch off the water though,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. Yeah, so we have all the cabinets above here to store all different kinds of spices and goods. And of course, a very large cooking top to cook for the family over here. That's also not, is that real marble?
Yeah, that's real marble.
Real marble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
It's a kitchen, it's always real marble.
Yeah, over here as well. It's a very small table, maybe for some breakfast in the morning. American fridge. Philco. Freezer. Want to see the freezer? Ooh, it's a very large one. I love, love, love old style fridges.
Yeah.
Oh. I'd probably put it
Yeah,
here on
to
purpose
open it, to not
keep it open, but there's no
smell.
purpose anymore nowadays. Probably never going to use it anymore.
Yeah.
Let's go to the other side of the house. I just love that the whole house has been laid out with this single strip of red carpet. It just feels royal and wealthy to me. And they definitely did it with a purpose, as you can see. It's beautiful on the carpets, going upstairs, here in the hallway leading to the bedrooms. And that's where we're actually gonna go now. We're gonna go to the bedrooms to either side, but first, here's also a bathroom, which is very echoey. Do you hear it?
Yeah.
Oh, these ceilings are high and this is a very hollow space inside of the house. A very ugly ceiling, I would say.
Yeah,
for such a
very
beautiful...
simple.
Ooh, I don't have to talk too loud in here, otherwise
Yeah.
there's too much echo. But everything has been laid out with marble in this bathroom. Look at these pieces of furniture. Ooh, the beautiful curly hair is still here. These drawers are literally made out of a solid piece of marble.
Yeah.
With even marble handles on there.
Crazy.
It's incredible.
It's beautiful.
I have an oil lantern still standing here. Wow, I have to be very careful placing it back. Look at everything in here. It's such a strange looking bathroom, to my opinion. Of course, that doesn't work anymore. You already tested that level. A toilet, a bidet next to it, all from the same shape, all matching each other, and then the bathtub right next to it. And the family could wash themselves. You'd think this place would have been built at that point where the bathroom had already been planned together with the house? I think so, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Beginning 1900s, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Beautiful bathroom, but not something I'm gonna show for too long. They also have a couple of empty rooms inside of this house with just some chairs in it for some reason. Very small chairs.
But this was a children's room.
Oh yeah, look at these chairs. If I sit on it?
No, it's not because of the chairs.
No?
No, the size of the bed that was inside of this room was so small that the lights are here. You see?
Oh.
Lights on each side. So the bed was not big.
So maybe like two beds in here or something, because there are two switches as well.
Yeah, that's true. That could be true. And these chairs that you're seeing right now are Victorian. Oh. And the feet, it's again the same feet as the other chairs, cabriolet. They're beautiful.
They're very light. They're wonderful though.
Yeah. This room is actually very Victorian. Oh wow, you see the strings and the inside.
Yeah.
This is not made with stuffing. It's just strings. Can you take your
I
hand?
already felt that when I was sitting on it. Yeah. It's indeed very springy.
Yeah. But you see, even the ceiling is very Victorian. It's painted. It's not actually real.
Yeah. Yeah, you would think it's no. On this
Yeah,
side,
there's a bit of corners of plaster, but most of it is painted.
Incredible. And the gold-plated chandelier here in the middle of the room. Wow. Again, those covers for the door lock everywhere. Wow. And here we come to the last two rooms of this hallway, the last ones that we have to show. Let's show this one over here first. You can go inside. It's probably from one of the children that used to live in this place. Still made bed. The same style of bed that we saw before, but with a little bit different shape. Then I'm gonna ask you to watch out where you're walking, because behind you there's a lot of decay, if you haven't noticed it yet.
Yeah, I noticed.
But
this one I need to be
the wall
careful.
is sinking away over in that corner over
Yeah,
there.
I'm not gonna get too close.
It's so sad to see that this place is falling apart after only such a short amount of time.
Yeah. And the ceiling, the plaster work.
It's beautiful again. There's a couple more things we have to point out in this room, and that's definitely this picture that we have over here. It's made in this town, so it's... Did you almost
No, I just got scared because this it
Oh.
looked like it was falling.
I touched it, so it bounced a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
So we have a lady and a man, and I know that the grandfather of this place was called Mario or something. So this might have been that exact man with his wife. Beautiful nightstand next to it. Ooh.
Be careful, please.
And here we have a sort of children's drawing from Anna Margarida.
Margarida, yeah.
Anna Margarida, and is made on the 29th of the 1st of 1980. And what I find a little bit interesting about this place is, so the children were still very small when they made this. It got abandoned around the 1990s, so they were probably in their teen years when they had to leave behind this place. But there are still a lot of children's things throughout here. That's a little bit strange to me. Beautiful painting made by her. So this must have most likely been her room. The chandelier is also pretty low, probably not made for a Dutch person.
No.
How would you call these covers that are going over the windows over here?
Curtains?
Okay, but I thought maybe they had a special name.
Maybe they do, but I don't know.
You see these a lot in Portugal.
Yeah, just curtains, and it's pretty crazy because from inside they look plain.
Yeah.
But from outside they look like they're painted gold.
Yeah, that's beautiful. This is the last room on this floor, so let's check it out. I think it's also a wonderful room in my opinion. Wow. This looks like it also might have been a master bedroom of some sort. But
Possibly.
yeah, I don't know, maybe the grandparents still lived with them at the time. That was also very common back in the time in Portugal. Wonderful ceiling again. The chandelier is a little bit less prominent, but the ceiling doesn't go under the other one that we saw before.
Oh no.
From the sky, and then these plants, these flowers flourishing through it. Wow. I love the blanket on the bed. It's like a furry blue blanket. This bed is beautiful. Oh, it has an angel carved inside of it. Wow. And then next to it we have the nightstand, and on the nightstand there's a thing that's very common to see as well. There is a Bible left behind. Everybody used to carry around the Bible and read a verse at the end of the evening. I would have wanted that to work. Of course, a little depiction of Maria. Oh, what's this?
Just a bookmark or something.
Okay, a
Just
bookmark. I
nothing-
thought there was
nothing-
something special.
No, nothing real special.
Look at these chairs, Danny. They have the same design as the headrest of the bed.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
That's incredible. Then a miniature version of it.
Yeah.
The upholstery on it as well. Very beautiful. And then the hat of the woman. Is this one of those hats when the husband died, they have to wear those?
I don't know.
No?
No, there's just a fancy hat to wear on Sundays or when they go out.
To me, it looks like a funeral hat.
I mean, it can be, but all I feel like all of the hats were the same.
Okay.
So they could wear this in a special occasion or on a funeral.
Okay.
Yeah.
Portuguese people tend to have a lot of value towards the hat, especially the woman. Like they.
Not
Not really? Okay.
No, not really. Back in the days, they wear more of something over their heads, not a hat.
Yeah.
But I would say more richer people, yes.
Okay. And then over here to this side, we have a couple more things that are very interesting. First and foremost, we have another picture left in this place, and it's the same woman as we saw before, but then not without her husband before over here. And then we have a academic diploma, if I'm not mistaken, from her husband, Romeo. See, here is the name, Romeo. Is that correct?
No, that's the name of the play, Romeo.
Oh, really?
Wait, let me read. No.
No.
Romeo Pinto. Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. You're completely right. Yeah. Yeah, but this is just an honorable mention that he went from 1922 to 1925.
Yeah, beautiful. What a room again. Or maybe over here, a couple more things. This
be
work was
careful.
very slippery. This looks like a harmonica or something. I don't know what it is.
Let's.
Oh,
I have no idea.
it's a very strange device.
I have no idea.
I've never seen something like this before. If anybody knows, let us please know, but I have no idea what this machine or device does. A couple of things. But this was the vanity where they would make themselves beautiful in the morning. And the big cabinet over here, the closet as well, exactly the same design as the bed. Everything matches each other in this house. Okay. It's time, my friend, to take a stroll up to the last floor of this place. Whew. The ceiling when going up here is very beautiful. It's different than the other ones we have seen before.
Very different.
And it looks like it's made out of wood. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very geometrical.
One thing I really noticed when I was going upstairs here is the carpet changed. It's not red velvet anymore. It changed to a brownish carpet.
Yeah.
And I
Faded.
think it's because we are coming to the servants' quarters right now. This is probably where the servants of the household used to sleep. Let's have a look. We already see a bedroom over here that's way less beautiful than the ones we saw downstairs. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, Danny, this is a servant's quarter, right? Servant's bedroom.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah. I don't think anybody of the family would sleep
Yeah.
up here.
I think all of the family sleep down there. The family was not that big, so.
No,
Yeah.
they were very small, or very small. They were fairly small, I would say.
Yeah.
Wow. You have a religious figure up there. I have no idea who this man might be.
That's the Pope. The name is down there.
Oh my gosh, I'm terrible with that. But even up here, you can see where the decay has started, where the building is slowly falling apart. Empty, but these coat hooks I really like. They are beautiful. Very traditional. Okay. This room is quite empty, my friend. Most of these rooms are pretty empty. I think that might have something to do with that at some point they were already didn't have servants anymore, and then afterwards they started to move things out.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah. Why would this mesh be up here? What would they store here? Live animals or something?
No. Live animals inside of a house? No. I have no idea what they stored up there. Probably something that they didn't want flies or something to go inside. I don't know. I have no idea.
I have also no idea. Okay. Let's see what's in this room over here. Ooh. We have a couple of chairs left behind here.
Oh, wow. They don't look fancy, but these are really Portuguese chairs.
I wanted to ask you that exactly.
If I don't know the correct name for this, but I think it's wicker, something like that.
I've never seen one of those before.
This is Portuguese made. I know the name in Portuguese is Vim. They feel very weak.
Yeah, they feel like they can fall apart any second.
But they are really strong.
Okay.
It feels weak, but they are really strong, really. I think it's wicker. I think that's the name in
Never
English.
heard of it, but beautiful chairs though. I really love them. A couple more things over to this side of the room, and a very small one over there as well. Probably one of those children's chairs. Oh, this is a ironing board.
Sorry, I saw.
Another photo of the family. Wow, there's not a lot of memories left behind, but just a couple subtle memories of this family. Here in the hallway, we have the Singer sewing machine, beautifully standing here. Oh, it still functions.
Wow.
Everything is still on there. Unfortunately, only the belt that drives the sewing machine is missing. We have seen these so many times while exploring abandoned places. They're literally everywhere in the world, and you can see that this company was very important back in the time. This is probably the most Portuguese room of this house with all the chests. Of course, I have to quickly look inside of it. Blankets. Yes, what did you think? This is one of those travel chests that we talked about before.
Yeah.
And because this family was so important back in the time, they also were in the ability to travel, and this would be literally their suitcase to travel with. Multiple chests. This one's empty, my friend. Not much in there anymore. A couple more chests over to there and the suitcase.
Chests.
Yeah, this one is pretty beautiful though. This is really like a travel suitcase. Yeah, beautiful, made from leather. And there's also a small bathroom up here. Wow, with a skylight even.
Oh yeah.
Small skylight. Let's see these last couple of rooms up here. So this is nothing. This one is nothing. And this is one room left with 2 beds for those servants that used to live here.
Very simple room.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah, but one thing that you can really see, it's all the cement and all the structure just caving in, which is real
If
sad.
I see this, then I think like you have to literally rebuild a house like this to be able to save it.
Yeah, the structure of the
that's-
house is compromised, yeah.
The sad part about it.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to still go outside and show you the gardens of this place, which are also very beautiful, and then let's go over there right now.
Yeah, let's go.
So we now find ourselves on the outside of the house, in the backyard of it. And here you can see the beautiful structure of this place. Absolutely grand house. Wow. I love the sunken gardens that we have over here.
Yeah.
It's not really big, but it's very beautiful to my opinion. Of course, because it's an American it's a Portuguese place. It also has tile work on the outside, and it says Jose.
São José.
Yeah,
It's the name of a saint.
but also the name of the owner.
Yeah,
Probably nothing to do with it, but yeah,
true.
beautiful back garden, to my opinion. Okay, Danny. I think we have to end it here. I think we have to thank the people for watching the video. I have to thank you for filming with me.
You're welcome.
His link is also in the description. And definitely
you.
check out Danny's channel as well. And definitely a big thanks to these people. And I hope they find some fortune in their life afterwards. If you like this video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write a nice comment in the comment section. There's also a link in the description for Patreon. There you can support us and help us go on these trips around the world and film these incredible places. With that all said, we want to thank you very, very much, and we'll see you next week in another episode. Bye bye. We love you.